Even though it's supposed to. Oh, there we go. Haha. Now it's working. Hello, everyone. We are casting the round of 16 tonight. We're actually casting only 3 matches, though, so not the entirety of a round of 16, but that's okay. They're also best of 5s, as they were in the round of 32 on Tuesday and Thursday. Today's matches, like I said, there's 3 of them. 2 are from replays, and 1 is live. So the first series of the day is going to be from replays. Here it is. The Rochester Institute of Technology with Team I Love Bunny, I Love Colorin, and Poke Bunny versus the University of Washington, nickname Kix and Door, which is Cassantrix and Garage Door. Okay, so they just both mixed up their names. Beautiful, great. Oh, cat note.
I'm getting our channel set up to host this, so we can go tweet to our fans, let them know CSL is going
you
down.
little butt.
I am not a little butt, and you should take that back.
Well, not. Apollo's being such a butt lately. Oh, God. Go ahead and join the lobby.
Yeah, sorry, one sec. I'm just trying to host some stuff up.
Okay. Well, for those of you that are tuning in right now at the very start, well, first of all, hello and welcome. You guys are pretty dedicated. And second of all, I assume that some of you are tuning in immediately are fans of CS Star League in general. For instance, coming to support your friends or watch your own replays be cast, if that is the case. I know someone was doing that last time, too. The Starcraft 2 and Hearthstone registration is open for CSL, so go to csstarleague.com and you select the, each game that you actually want to go into and get more information there. And I am going to go ahead and press the start button, because I can do that, because it's replays.
And I'll be with you in just a sec, because the hosting's being dumb. I was on the wrong account.
Okay. Alright, so.
Alright, here we go. Okay, we're live on the CS Star League archive matches, hosting the games on Twitch,
hello.
Street TV. I don't know if we're actually live yet, but swap the host over, because as much as I love OMG, it's Firefox, it's us, and I love us more. Ooh.
You should love yourself, Rifkin. That is true.
Just not in public, am I right? Oh, good.
Oh, no. Ew, okay. Alright, so we should be going live. We should be live here soon enough, anyways. You're close enough. We're in a game number 1 of this best of 5. In the bottom left, as the Zerg, the yellow Zerg, it is I Love Bunny.
And I have the Starcraft sound bug. Fantastic. This game with no sound is going to be great. You should just do both intros, since I can't hit F11 to look at the player names and know who's playing.
Oh, okay then. So in the top left as the pink Terran. Oh no, I've lost my... Oh, I have so many things open. Rifkin, help! Rifkin, help!
Nope.
I don't know where it is.
You're on your own.
But it is Garan's Kiksa, which is what you should have done anyways. You should have just given up for me.
Gara Kiksa. It's actually going to be Garage Door and Kixantrix.
Haha. Yeah, I finally found what I was looking for too. Damn it.
I was just guessing.
Really? You're guessing?
Yeah.
Like, Gara, Garage. Garage Door, most likely, because who just says Garage?
Yeah, well, that and the CSL thread.
Oh, you actually went there. I just go into my image folder and find all the images.
That too. I actually didn't go. I just hit F11 and looked at the people chatting. Thank God they both said something in chat, or I would have been totally screwed.
Yeah, the replays wouldn't work otherwise. Alright, so, of course, you can see pings now from each Archon team, each person from the Archon team. They can also be more specified, too, like defend here, attack here, and whatnot, but most people just still kind of use the pings in general. Macro builds for both players, Hatchery, Command Center. I guess someone on I Love Bunny, which is a combination of I Love Coloring and Poke Bunny, is just like maybe the spotter of the team. I did talk about this one of the other CSL casts. I forget which one. Oh, he's doomed. No, he got alive. Okay.
No, this he's gonna get alive. But now that you said it like that, I realize what his name is. See, because we're casting Poke Bunny and Color in here last time, and I thought it was Colorin, like some sort of name or something. Like I love Colorin, not I love Colorin,
Oh.
coloring like with crayons. Oh my god, like
That's-
mind blown moment here.
It's pretty funny you didn't recognize that. But anyways, I went over one of the CSL casts that's another way of doing it besides just micro and macro, especially if one of you is much better than the other, which I don't know if it's really the case here. You imagine Poke Bunny's a better one, but I'm not sure. Is you just have a spotter, basically, you know, looking around the map for drops, looking around the map for, you know, Marines here and there, and making sure that everyone knows what the scout is, in case the macro is, you know, distracting or whatever.
Yeah, you and I learned especially communication very important, and I remember when we first started playing, I was just scouting, I wasn't really reporting anything back, and you were basically saying, like, I need to know what's going on. I can't afford to look if I'm focusing this hard on macro, so and communication, very important. It might not seem like a big deal, but it really, really, really is.
Yeah.
Also, as you can see my camera for once, I got new water bottles. Can you see it?
I don't know what your old water bottle looked like, though.
Well, it's like a regular water bottle you get for like a vending machine. This thing's like the size of my head.
Oh. So when I was in Korea, I learned that, you know, the reason that you always see Korean streamers with, like, huge bottle of water is not necessarily because they're trying to be super healthy, although that might contribute to some of it. It's because there actually was this, like... Oh, what the hell? What are the drones doing there? Not a scandal might not be the right word. There was a leak from, some type of plant, you know, facility in Korea that, contaminated a bunch of water.
Oh, wow.
So while the drinking water from the tap is perfectly safe, and in some cases even filtered for you before it reaches your tap, the Koreans don't trust it. So that's why they're constantly drinking out of huge jugs of water.
See, I got the bigger ones just because I didn't want to get up and get new bottles.
Yeah,
all the
that's the third thing that I always thought it was. You know, not like the health or the scared. It's like, no, like I don't want to get up and go get water, which I've always considered doing myself because I gotta go downstairs and like it's so far.
time. Yeah. Well, the pressure here from Garage Door and Kixantrix not really scaring Poke Bunny or Colorin just yet, but third base gets established and creep spread's still going. And let's not forget it's Legacy of the Void, so you look at those tumors and they are spreading really fast.
Yeah, you can kind of see that effect on the minimap, how fast they spread. But they also recede a lot quicker, so I think it was a good trade-off, to be honest. I mean, Terrans would love it if they only receded faster, but it was fair that they also spread faster. We have a very, very Heart of the Swarm game going on right now, like 3CC into Double Engineering Bay, Bio, of course, versus what looks to be Bane Ling Muta.
You see all this, but then the Liberator takes out 2 queens there in the main of.
I totally missed it. Amazing.
Yep. See, we're like casting Archons. I'm reporting back the stuff on the map you're not seeing. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I killed 1 queen. How did you even mess that up?
Well, okay, whatever. It was killing queens. Second, look at the health on that other one. Okay, it barely got out alive.
Where? Oh, there. Okay, well the Hellions are getting in here and killing drones.
Yep.
Doesn't look like the Liberator did some, maybe. So 10 drones in total have gone down.
The Liberator, I don't think actually got any because it was pretty well defended right at the edge of the base.
Okay, so just about the Hellions then. Although of course there were those 2 that just randomly rallied out to the middle of the map, so it makes sense. The Hellions are getting cleaned up. Oh, not barely not. They're sort of dead though, so how much are they really gonna help? But even with that Liberator, it's still like everything else is very, very Heart of the Swarm. This timing is looking to be really nice. To their credits, the Terrans are doing a really nice macro build with the accompany of that Liberator, but it is still, you know, I'm guessing they're probably also going to go Widow Mines if they're going to play it as safe as they can.
Oh,
What?
sorry, I was Blink's running around the bottom right. I'm like, did you not scout? But then I checked the vision, and they know full well that they're in the top left, so I don't know what those Lings at the bottom right are doing right now.
Looking for the Hellions that were close to death.
They're being hella awkward is what they're doing. Ugh.
Yes, exactly. So as people start to trickle in, we've been live for a couple minutes now anyways. Hello everyone.
Sup,
this
homies?
is the round of 16 CSL. Today we're casting 3 matches, 2 from replay, this one is from replay, and 1 live. That'll be the next one we cast. So, right now we're casting... Hold on, I'm going to bring the image up. There we go. We are casting Rochester Institute of Technology versus University of Washington. and they so far seem to be pretty evenly matched. Zerg is starting to dip down in supply, but a lot of that is because they're saving minerals and gas for mutas, which are now on the way out.
You know, it's funny because we recently just cast a game with Keen, and there's a new medevac upgrade you can get that extends the boost duration, and we fathomed whether it would be good or not versus mutas, but it was against a corruptor player, so we never got to see Curious actually use mutas. I do wonder if in these, and I hesitate to say this because it sounds condescending, but in these lower league games, these lower tier games, I'm wondering if that medevac boost would actually be fantastic against mutas in this sort of situation. Either way, drop in the main does go down, a couple of banelings go off, but really it does force the drop back, and this is not bad at all for Team Terran.
Oh, good spread on the Marines, just by spreading the medevacs a little bit means that they can continue their onslaught. The mutas finally come back. I guess they were rallied off in the middle of somewhere. They could have been focused on the medevacs while the lings are still alive. More lings pop out, though, and that pushes the medevac drop back. It was a risky maneuver by the Terran in case the mutas were ready and prepared to kill them, but it ended up working out okay. Anyways, not sure what that ping was for. They're trying to ping the medevacs. They're going towards the 4th base. They get a full surround on the Marines and whatever Hellings are in there, but not enough lings.
Yeah, and they had their back to a wall type thing too, so it went up really well. The Mutilas can't really engage this. This leaves those drones vulnerable. Widowmine does go down. It's going to catch a drone. Doesn't catch too much. But 4 Mutas really still can't take on this. If it weren't for the medevacs, they could certainly finish off the Marines, but the medevacs make this a little too powerful.
Terran is really dominating this game. They are already up 50, almost 60 supply. A lot of that is in that army. Another drop to the left.
Yeah, main base gets dropped. I mean, the Spore Crawler almost got some good shots off. Macro Hatchery coming down. But to be honest, Team Zerg doesn't really have the money to support this Macro Hatchery. So much of what they've been building, like these mutas over and over again, that they've been losing, they can't afford to keep replacing.
They do have 13 mutas now with another 2 on the way, so they're... Muta count's getting to that point where it could be scary on the offense, but they're just constantly on defense. Now, their creep spread was pretty damn good, but it's getting all types of cleaned up right now with not much to say about it. Not enough banelings were made, only just now finishing.
Creep spread is one thing worth noting. A lot of tumors died on the back sort of retreat of that push, so a lot of this creep we see on the Terran side of the field should be receding soon. But I gotta tell you, Zombie Grub, the soundbug sucks. Starcraft is a vastly less interesting game when you don't hear what's going on in it.
Oh yeah, I know. I had the soundbug a couple of times. Well, the upgrades are also ahead for our Terran players. I mean, they're basically ahead in every single aspect. Workers, even, not usual in a ZBT. And, of course, army and upgrades. Oh, it takes a nasty... Oh my god, that was a huge shipment supply right there. Oh, yes. Good god.
Terran's still up quite a bit, though. Team Terran Archon... Okay, yeah, that was a great hit out of the Banelings, but with so many Marines and Widowmines still on the front lines, I'm not too worried for them yet, and unless they take another hit like that, then they should be okay. Still just clean up a lot of the creep tumors.
Oh, mutas are in high enough number to kill those Widowmines. Oh god, one gets a pretty good shot on the Banelings, but they just, they were lagging a little bit, so they did get shot and weakened. The Widowmines are being cleaned up, leading the Banelings trying to clean everything else up, but they are off creep, and the Marines should be splitting, but they don't. So, full blast to the face, but luckily the macro player has been on point, has enough reinforcements to push this back.
I mean, the reason this isn't really working for the Zerg, and this is why I think we see a lot of players start gravitating between Roaches and Ravagers, is despite the better economy you have in Legacy of the Void, you're just not trading out as well. Like before in HOTS, getting 4 or 5 Baneling hits was great because Terran couldn't really replace that as easily. But Terran production is better than ever. We got 5 bases for Team Terran while this has been going on, and those mutas get shredded. It looks like this is going to be a Terran victory.
Yep.
Just a question of when.
This was a very nicely played game by Terran. Once again, they were both basically macro builds with, like, you know, a Liberator pressure. They didn't really do a whole lot, but it was a macro build that definitely went in favor of the Terran. Now, as these are replays, we're going to be hopping very quickly into the next couple of games. No downtime here.
Woo!
Yay!
It's a real idea for you. Easy peasy.
So, for those of you that don't know, Poke Bunny was a pretty good Terran, North American Terran, back in like 2010, 11, sort of 12. Maybe even his name was thrown around here and there in 13, but really not so much lately. So you would still expect him, though. I think he was Terran. Man, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, you'd think he'd be the kind of obvious winner here, but what was nice in the CSL people gave me a little information about these guys is that apparently while their skill is pretty good, I think we saw the power of good chemistry with the Washington's team, the Terran team, because they obviously looked a lot better, at least in that specific game. And here we are in game number 2 on Orbital Shipyard, and the top right as the yellow Zerg, it's I Love Bunny.
And their opponents in the bottom left. Combination of Garage Door and Kixanatrix, and I forgot to reset my game between lobbies, so I'm sitting here with a wonderfully awkward and silent game. Woo! So let me ask you, we've actually seen Poke Bunny and Colorant a couple of times. You think these are the type of guys to go for cheese at any point? I mean, it's the hatchery first. We're not seeing anything too crazy right now, and I don't know. I feel like if you get ahead with Zerg, like if you start off 1-0 in a series, that's nice. Followed up with the Nidus Worm, go for some Overlord drops. I mean,
I don't know. We have cast them before, and it wasn't. I don't recall them being super cheesy at all. I don't really recall any super cheesy teams, at least the ones that are still around in the round of 16. But it's what is the hallmark of a good player, and in this case I guess a good Archon team, right, is being able to throw in cheeses at least once in a best of 3 or best of 5, so it should definitely be on their list of things to do. You know, a Roach Rush or Roach Ravager Rush, still pretty effective. Even old, like, Baneling All-Ins can still be cool, but yeah, more like those Legacy of the Void ones would be better in my opinion.
well, things coming down, just I guess notifying that the worker was on its way. Out with the Overlord, man. Watch out. He might build things. Actually, I said sarcastically, but really, SCVs can't build bunkers and other things, so it's worth looking out for.
Yeah, sees the gas taken. I mean, it's a pretty normal build. Oh, he even escapes, and I think escaped the drones last time too. It's sneaky.
Yeah, but the Ling's got the very nice kill this time.
So it's a Reaper opener. It looks like it's going to be a factory after that. So the Hellions didn't really. They didn't do too much in the ways of denying creep or killing queens, but they got a lot of drones last game, which probably shouldn't be the case, but it's just you know what happened. The Zergs aren't quite on top of things, and they might be hoping for the same thing here. Unfortunately, if they don't get drone kills, Hellions have really just not been the most impressive units since Wings of Liberty, basically. You know, creep queens were too effective at denying them, and they were mostly just used for turning into Hellbats, which is still effective. Hellbat Liberator is a cool all-in that the Terrans can do, or aggressive build, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I remember too, like at the start of beta, because we've been casting this forever. For those who don't know, at the start of the Legacy of the Void beta, I mean that build was unbeatable for a while. Then, of course, Ravagers started making a splash on the scene, and man, I just
literally.
ha 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 ha. Yeah.
Get it.
I really wish though, like it feels like, and I'm not trying to get like overly stupid here with this. It feels like we haven't seen that level of innovation since the Ravager, right? Like that was the biggest breakthrough in the beta. I felt. No.
The Roach Ravager Corruptor? What?
No, you like when they finally figured out that Ravagers were the answer to the Liberator. Like that was the biggest breakthrough.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like the early push of the Liberators. Right. That was probably the last time we were like, oh my god, that's a genius move. But on the other hand, I'm like, you know, yeah, it's great to see innovations like that. I guess there's also something to be said that is no longer something as OP as that Liberator push was, because that's the reason why it was so amazing in the first place. You know, we kept on saying like it can't possibly be OP because we've only had it for like 2 weeks. Like people just haven't figured it out, and then someone did the Ravager, and it was an oh my god moment. But we haven't had anything else that's been really OP that has been just, you know, making people scratch their heads.
You know. Well, at the moment, this is, it's honestly a bit of a scary poke. This is something that if the queens don't handle well, get out of hand. The Reaper grenades tear through just so much, so quick.
I really wonder what that ping was for. Just worried about Reapers maybe climbing up and getting a scout? Whatever. Another Ling Bling game for Zerg players looks like, because they're getting their lair and their Baneling Nest. They are getting some rather, like not super late Baneling Nests, but not super early either. The Hellbat Liberator push, especially on 2 base, could do a lot of damage, I think, if this trend continues. But it's going to be a 3 base build for Terran, accompanied with that one single Liberator that's killing an Overlord.
Hype?
Totally. That was amazing. Doesn't stop the other Overlord from getting a scout. Not too much a scout, to be honest. I mean, confirm that it's bio, I suppose.
Actually, it is worth noting, though, they did go for a pretty quick Overlord speed to be able to get this scout off so easily. You don't see a lot of people invest into it this quickly.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, it's not like, oh my god, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard of, but it's still interesting.
So Zerg decides to go for mutas a little bit quicker. They were, I mean, the ball started rolling in that last game because of that double drop that went right into their main, and they just barely couldn't clean up with Lings. Maybe hoping that if the Terrans plan on a tactic similar to that, you know, just picking up and going right into the main and hoping mutas don't catch them, this game the mutas will catch them. They'll just be out that much sooner for not getting those Ling upgrades. Of course, that means your Lings aren't as good, and Terran gets way far ahead with their upgrades, but it can be a worthwhile trade-off.
I'm surprised these are still dancing. Normally these get killed at this point, but still just kind of on the edge of creep. It is worth noting Baneling speed, when it completes, starts giving the option to move around, but that's a little ways off still. Yeah. Liberator does reach the main, but between the Queen and that Spore Crawler, which is really nicely positioned, by the way, this is not going to get much done. But just so much of this is like questionable, like, will it get much done?
Oh, okay. That's probably what they were pinging to begin with, was trying to ping those rocks to break them down, because you need to take this base, not this base, which is far, far away. The Hellions up doing a decent job keeping the Queens busy, keeping the micro player busy, and maybe denying creep on this little part, but it's starting to spread out to the sides. Upgrades finally start for our Zerg team, as well as the +1 flyer attack. Where are the mutas, though? That's my question. We got the Spire for a reason. Honestly, to get the Spire and then not the mutas before the upgrades is a little weird.
Exactly, it's the upgrades that make me go like WTF.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose, I feel, of doing that. Maybe they realized that it wasn't going to be a direct drop, although that would be a pretty hard read to make. Although it would be a correct one. They're not going for the drop, they're going for the direct push. So focusing more on more Banelings would have been the better option, but they're not morphing Banelings either, so I think they just kind of... I don't know, I chose one over the other for not the greatest reason, but there's the lack of Banelings really coming to effect here. Those Hellbats absolutely would have died as scrunched up as they were. Now there's gonna... Oh god, the Massacre. Lings! No! That's so many Lings! Oh dear god, that was a lot of Lings. 83 Lings have already gone down.
That's the wonderful nature of Hellbats, I guess you could say.
Guess so. So that was a really great push. The mutas are finally out, though, to help out. Trying to get the medevacs, don't quite get them.
This drop's probably not going to work out too well either, because you're going to have to unload into the Lings. Unfortunately, Boost is on cooldown, so these mutas are going to get the picks they need. Oh my god, that medevac. How does that medevac get out of there alive? Oh my god.
What am I just barely doesn't burrow? That is a pretty big loss in supply. They were up 20 and now they're only up 10. They do have nice production back at home, about to finish up, a 4th base even about to finish up, so the Terran is looking really nice. But there was a problem last game in that, you know, the Zerg never got an opportunity to breathe and get their own momentum. They were constantly being attacked and dropped and whatnot. Maybe this game will turn around in the mid-game with, you know, the mutas finally getting a chance to harass.
I mean, mutas are really good at harass. I mean, specifically, I feel like that's what they're built for. Sometimes they can buy some time.
Oh, a little bit of a trap with all these Marines. Decided to take the lesser Marines on. It works. A lot of them get very low health, but they don't quite die. Oh, that went surprisingly okay.
But they're starting to get to that point where if they stick around, he's going to bleed out a lot of them. Or they are going to bleed out a lot of them, pardon me.
How's this alive?
What?
How's this Liberator alive?
Oh.
Mutas are out. Go kill it. Okay.
I guess maybe he just doesn't know it's there. I mean, he's not doing anything right now. It ain't hurting nobody's zombie grub.
No, it is not. But those rocks are not broken down, so the SCs take the long way around. That was a little bit scary. Missile turrets are in place in the mineral lines, but as the game goes on, the muta count will go higher and higher. You're going to need like 1, 2, 3, or even 4, and of course, some of them covering the production, which is getting to be very strong. Upgrades are full upgrade ahead for the Terran. Yeah, the Lings can't take on the planetary.
Yeah, the planetary is going to be the biggest, like, no. They come out for a lot of Banelings and knock it down if they want, but I don't think that's gas or minerals they can really afford right now. Double drops come to the top right natural base here, so Garage Door and Cantrix going to catch. I love Color and Poke, but man, it's hard to do 4 names you don't know. Really off guard. We go to the back of the mineral line, but truthfully, I think what I could have done here, yeah, they're actually going to trade out really well with these lings. That positioning is stupidly good.
And the upgrades. So,
You know, it's like they just need like 1 Baneling in there. Like, really?
yeah, that has been a big problem. You know, I would say that's great if they were really investing a ton into mutas, but I think they're just forgetting to make a lot of Banelings, underestimating how much they need them. And attack on the left side is doing some really great work, and I think those are the last of the Banelings. Only Lings coming in those mutas. In fact, they're too scared of Banelings. They move back for no reason. Kills the natural hatchery too.
GG.
And there's a GG. The Terrans are looking quite dominant.
And I'm just going to Alt F4 really quick to try and get my sound back, because these are hard to cast when you don't, like, it's not even complaints, but, like, it's just legit hard to cast when you can't hear, like, what's going on in the game. So I'm sorry, I'll be back in a second. It's, where's this thing? There we go. Sorry to hold us up on this one. Now, you said before it's best of 5, not best of 3, right?
Yes, best of 5.
Okay, so tying this up sets up for a couple more games. It's good
it's
for
not a
an
tie.
idiot. Isn't it? Didn't
2-0
turn.
Terran.
You're right. I had the wrong score when I put it in game. Thank you.
Good thing you weren't observing. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it is, because then I would have had the wrong score. So there you go. Super nailed it, Zombie Grub.
Yay, go me. Oh, this is the wrong replay. I think it was the right replay, rather. I wanted to ask if it was the wrong replay, but I'm pretty sure it was the right one. Unfortunately, it wasn't in order, you know? But... So it was like 1, 3, 2 or something like that.
There's like no way I can confirm this for you either.
Right, exactly. I'm pretty sure I got that right one. It's fine.
Well, I mean, actually, if you think about the outcome will be... okay, so if you get the first 2 right, the outcome of this is going to be the same no matter what. Either it's 3-0 or go to game 4.
That's a good point, so I'm safe. Good. Okay, so game number 3, pretty sure. In this best of 5, the Terrans are up 2-0.
If this did go to all 5 games, though, you could have fucked it up. Because then it will look like a 3-0 when it should be a 2-2.
Well, nuts. Anyways.
Nuts to that.
In the top left, as the yellow Zerg, it's I love Bunny. I love Color and Poke Bunny.
And in the bottom right, their opponents, Garage Door and Kixantrix. Now, I'm going to say this, but I'm worried that upon saying it, this is going to almost sound like borderline offensive. But I'm actually a little bit disappointed. Because you've got folks like I Love Poke Bunny, who, again, maybe used to be a pro player, maybe rusty now, I don't know. But, like, this is a guy I know used to hang out on Caitlin's stream all the time, still very much involved with a lot of the other players. And the same thing keeps happening with others, like Bales and Suppy, and all of these teams that I expect to just do extraordinarily well are not. And it's a little bit disappointing on one hand, but also it shows just... It's not about the negativity aspect of it, but more about the strength that an Archon mode team brings to the table. A well-oiled Archon mode team can overcome players they could never touch in a 1v1. You and I know this from experience.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think in the minds of these players, they might look at a roster on a 5v5 all-kill style and be like, oh, well, they have Suppy, so I guess we have no chance, right? And even look on a roster with a 2v2, and some of these teams are both ex-pro gamers, basically. They'd be like, we don't have a chance. But to actually face them and win, as some of these guys have, they're probably like, oh, okay, maybe they're not taking it as seriously as they could have, and, well, that's greater chances for us to win the prize, so great. They're probably not complaining.
Money, money, money.
Scholarship
money.
is like money that you only have one thing to pay.
Well, I mean, when you consider like how expensive student debts are.
Oh, it's totally worth it. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not knocking
Yeah.
scholarships, but
I was
it's
gonna
like
say, don't knock that.
money,
Yeah.
but I get to choose where it goes.
Hell yeah.
Anyways. It's a really cool initiative, actually. CSL, someone's don't give it enough credit, as, you know, we're used to casting pro games, and we don't usually have to really worry about real life. I mean, sure, we joke about pro gamer salaries and, you know, caster money, but for these...
Joke about salaries of players.
I think we just make general jokes about esports money, I guess is the better way to put it.
Okay, that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, we're not, like, joking, like, oh, 15,000 a month, like, we don't know, like specifics, like, Jesus.
Rain's only making 6
Yeah,
figures.
exactly.
What a loser.
I kind of want to. I guess I kind of forgot to point this out. I pointed out on the observer cam, but that this pool was rather early with the gas, and it's not doing too much. The pits are actually finished, so they can just be lifted.
And well, that's the problem too. It's not doing much, like you said. And we look at the worker count; it's low. It's already low. Sacrifice another worker just about that Roach Warren. For Garage Door and Kisantrix, because they haven't lost a lot of workers, this could still go all right for them. The problem is, though, they're thinking lings, and more lings, when really it's going to be roaches coming up next.
Yeah. Now, if they're playing well defensively and they got their wits about them, basically, which is a lot easier to do in Archon mode, they might be thinking, like, okay, we don't have to only worry about the lings. Like, we have to worry about possibly banelings or, of course, roaches, or even, like, even like quick mutas behind this, you know? This is only this first step most of the time. Sometimes this is the only step. They only meant to get you back on one base, and then they are droning up behind it. But a lot of other times it is just a follow-up attack. Now, despite getting the Roach Warren, our Zerg team is droning. So, not an immediate follow-up. With a bunker on top of a ramp, they probably decided it wouldn't be worth going for it, even though Ravagers with an Overlord could break it.
I love that sound. Tick, 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 poing. It's kind of cool to see Burrow used like this, too. I mean, Burrow is a very, I feel, funny thing. You can't just have any random player use Burrow and, oh my god, it went so well. But in this instance, just even buying a little bit of time, we saw Poke Bunny and I Love Color do faster Overlord speed last game. I mean, these are not bad moves, but also not typical moves. Also, does the creep look hella stupid on this map, or is that just me?
What do you mean?
Like, at the natural, it's like not covering the ground properly,
like balding?
Or something?
Like
yeah, it's like it's balding. It's balding, yeah.
It's a common complaint. I just haven't...
It's a feature? Is that what...
Yeah, it's a feature, exactly. Yeah, they've been complaining about it already a little bit. I honestly don't notice that much. Remember when it... I kind of remember when it changed from Wings of Liberty to Heart of the Swarm. It got upgraded. Like, in Heart of the Swarm, you wouldn't see the creep tumor, like, tendril going through. It would just suddenly pop up from nowhere. They've updated a lot of stuff in the 5 years they've had Starcraft. Believe it or not. Although they haven't fixed their fucking client, I swear to... Okay, anyways.
Someone's a little bit salty by the sounds of it.
So these roaches weren't even used aggressively still. Only using them defensively, which is fine against the Hellions. Like, they're doing a great job against the Hellions, but they can't really help out against the Banshee. Even if they turn into Ravagers, she moves too quickly, and of course with one player microing, she should never be hit by a Ravager shot. Oh, these Hellions are rallied incorrectly. Here she comes to pick off the roaches. They're kind of free pickings as long as they're out here where there's no creeps without creep tumors, there's no queens coming over to help them. No overseer yet either, as that lair isn't quite done. So despite having to be forced back to one base for quite a while, not really doing too shabby. 2 Banshees now even. Like, that Sport Crawler needs to help out. This queen would definitely be executed by these Banshees.
So it's an interesting way when you're stranded for detection to have a Sport Crawler out like this. But unfortunately, no matter where he puts it, we just had that ring around the rosy going on in the background. So if you don't want to fight the queen, or if the queen doesn't want to fight, that's fine. Just focus on the hatchery. And it finishing like this is so dangerous. I mean, this could easily be picked off later on.
How did they not kill the Banshee, or the queen, or the hatchery?
Ugh.
Queens using transfuses on the hatchery even. That's actually pretty fine, to be honest. Creep tumors, you only needed some of them. You don't need to put all your energy into them. Helen's gonna run past, though. These roaches are slow, and they were not blocking the ramp. Decided not to go for the main, but no, they don't go for the natural, they go for the main.
Yeah,
Trying
and
to split.
The pings from one teammate to another saying, look out, here they come.
Yeah. They are cleaned up by lings more so than those roaches. Viking is following around, killing some overlords. And lings are still being burrowed around the map. They burrowed the wrong gold, though. Oh, well, no, they just scanned the other gold. Is that misplaced? That is misplaced. Ha! Cheeky.
Scan goes down. Just kind of checking, make sure everything's safe. I mean, okay, credit to the Banshees. Those are pretty cool, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, they didn't kill the queen, they didn't kill the hatchery. All these queens around it are not trying to do creep tumors. They're going to be doing transfuses, trying to make sure this thing doesn't die.
Zerg is upgrading their missile attacks and going into Roach Hydra, it looks like. So kind of done with the lings for now. Roach Hydra can be very powerful, especially on maps where there's a very short distance to attack, or in most cases counterattack, because if they're going to start dropping you, realizing that's your one weakness, you eventually just get fed up and push. A lot like playing Protoss in Heart of the Swarm.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of that lately too, where you're just like, nope, that's it, gloves are off, I'm done. Let's hop to it.
Yeah, well, that happens at TVT too, you know? Like, okay, you're going that way, I'm going this way. F it.
Yeah. TVT, well, I mean, we know TVT. I'm so glad our TVT tournament, I'm sad, but I'm glad our TVT tournament is finished at this point too. I've had enough TVT for a while.
At least it was fun.
I know, and that's the thing, like, I don't actually regret any of the time spent casting those games. They were all actually excellent, but even now, this is not the highest level TVZ we've ever seen, but it's refreshing, you know?
Yes, it is. Yeah, TVZ is refreshing. That's usually all we saw before TVT took over.
Ooh, Lurker Den on the way.
See, this further... Well, I guess that depends on how you use the lurkers. I was going to say it further escalates the problem of not being able to defend drops, but if you do keep lurkers back at home, then they're great defending. But there are very expensive units to keep at home, and you usually don't have more than like 8, so to keep any at home is a bit of a risk. So while these Banshees did not get the 3rd, which they really should have, I mean, something should have just freaking poked it before the transfuses went down, they are trying to get the 4th base, and it looks like they just might. Transfuses going down, Hydra's coming over. Where's the Overseer? There they are. The Spur Caller finishes with just enough vision.
Man, I feel like the tail of this game for Team Terran is almost.
Yeah, actually, that's true. They almost had a really dominant lead by killing the Queens and the Hatchery. Here's a drop, which they desperately need to do. This might have been their first
Actually, they should have... Oh, no. They missed a huge opportunity there. That should have gone straight down into that gold base.
Oh, yeah.
They know it's low from earlier, and they missed the opportunity of the Roaches and Hydras taking so long to respond. And this secondary force can push to the left simultaneously. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be overly critical. We understand that these are college kids, but that was a rather large opportunity missed upon. So we're going to go back towards the main, and this is the problem when you go Roach Hydra. This is going to be the strongest head-on composition a Zerg player could fight with, but it's so slow to react, and it's very bad at dealing with drops compared to Mutalisks and Banelings.
Yeah. Trying to go for the Lurker Den, not a bad snipe, and in fact they do get it. I don't believe any Lurkers were made, so even better. You have to entirely restart that. Goes for the 4th, too, does get the snipe, and might be able to get out of there. Chooses the tank over the bio. I mean, okay, looks like the bio's going to live anyways.
Bio can stem and do a shuffle tank can't.
Drop still going on here. It can finally go for the 3rd base. Finally.
I don't think I have to focus it down, though.
They don't think so. They're going to come back at a later time. Where's that scan? Oh, there it is. Trying to look for that army. It's a good thing, too. It is right here, but it's not a very big one. I was going to say, about 3 minutes ago, I think that first drop was their first indication that it was Roach Hydra. Otherwise, they only had 1 tech lab on a barracks. So they didn't have the best composition, but of course since then they've added more tech labs, trying to get more Marauders and trying to get more tanks too. Roach Hydra just gets destroyed.
That choke certainly helped out with those tanks so very well. So very good.
Okay, Overlord, you're gonna die. Yeah. Well, the, so almost 2 bases went down. One still gold, one being retaken as the gold, and finally the Lurker Den is back on the field. We do still have Zerg at an okay point. I mean, the supplies are okay despite that really terrible fight.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And their upgrades are also fine too at 2-2. Usually in this situation in Heart of the Swarm, Terran would really just be kind of, still defending until they had 3-3, and then for sure they would usually win. But,
I'll give credit. These tank blasts have actually been really good so far.
Yeah, no, they've been good control on the tanks. This is, I think, one of the weaknesses Roach Hydra found in Legacy of the Void is that they can barely run from, like, bio that's stemmed and chasing. Can't run from the tanks that can be both chased and retreated so easily.
Yeah. Worst part is, of course, being so far off of creep like this, it's... do they not have Hydra speed? No, because the Lurker Den got picked off. That's why these are walking around so slow.
Oh, yeah. Well, they went for the Lurker Den before the speed, and then even used the Lurker Den. There's opportunities everywhere. 4th base on the way for Terran is blocked by a Ling, so it's going to have to be another scan. Very annoying. But as 3-3 is about halfway done, that is something they can wait for, and then almost guaranteed to have a much better army. Bio with Medivacs against Roach Hydra's DPS, well upgraded, is just, it's too good. That's why you usually see them try and go into Vipers to abduct the tanks or blind and cloud the bio. Or in Legacy of the Void's case, even on Ultras, you have the Carapace upgrades, so just get the plating, and there's still the beefy damage soakers they are with Ling, Bling, Yuta.
What are these overlords doing? What are they,
I don't know.
Oh, they're rallied, misrallied. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. I'll waste 200 minerals. But there is a big Zerg army, not quite max, and now it can't be max. Supply block is there. But it's still big. I'm not sure why they never make any lurkers big in a lurker den.
It might actually be a... I mean, I was going to say a question of money, but I just looked at the bank. No, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, I don't know. Lurkers are hard to use offensively, as, you know, just like usually run away from them. But if you're going to get the lurker den, you should probably get some lurkers. I don't know.
I concur. I mean, the thing about lurkers that they have over hydras and roaches, okay, yeah, they're higher tier units, but most importantly, they got 9 range, or whatever it is, so they can actually sit there and cause a bit of a, I don't know, harder push, I guess? I mean, you can't just walk Marines forward, they're going to take damage.
Ooh, poor Medivac. Gonna go right into a Queen and Hydras. And
Rip.
the slow push is real throughout the middle of the map. They do have all of their upgrades now, and even upgrading the tanks a little bit too. Not a bad idea.
It's so weird seeing this middle base taken. We've cast so many games over the last like week and a half, and nobody's taking that base. But the concave from Roach and Hydra looking good. Not even needing those Vipers. They will push back the bio. Tanks could possibly be salvaged from this, but with the Roaches going down, the Hydras have nothing to protect them, so forced to back away.
That was a good retreat. The Hydras were definitely going to die if they continued running into those tanks and whatever was left over of the bio, because the medevacs for the most part still alive. So at some point the bio seems almost invincible. The economy for both players is pretty strong still once the drones get transferred over to this base. It's not a gold base, surprisingly. I know it's pre-on terraces. They have some non-gold bases, but still a new base, new fresh base.
Pre-on terrace hype.
Terran's still really outclassing the income right now, though, up by 1,000.
Oh yeah, and I mean, a little bit about that is mules. I mean, just an itsy little bit.
2 mules, yeah, that's whatever. Salto has 54 drones. Third has been really mined out. The fourth is okay, strong enough, but they only just transferred to that fifth. Not really needing 60 drones, but needing more economy in general, anyways. Ravagers have been made over lurkers. I tell you, why hit a lurker den? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like hitting the structure tab, making sure they have it still.
Yeah, exactly. Every single time. It's like, am I misspeaking? No, they have it. Maybe they don't know they have it. I mean, it is very possible that the reason that Zerg, I think, is the most difficult to Archon mode in general, and especially ZVZ, oh, what the hell, Viking, is that just the way that their mechanics works, like their macro works. So first of all, like, their scouting is usually their attack, so that's why we had to work on our communication with them. But also, you can divvy up the egg making to the micro player, technically, and only have the macro player watch the bases and creep spread and larva inject. And that might be happening, and like building structures and tech, right? So maybe the person building from the eggs, they were told, like, hey, you have a lurker den. Yeah, even then, because they're built from the Hydras, it would be the micro player.
Hey!
Yeah. It's very possible they were told. But then if they really needed them, they'd be yelling at the person, being like, make the lurker den! I did make the lurker den! There's the blinding clouds that are going to be just that little bit extra to really help out this army, but it's a really wide spread. It's still good, like, the Hydra army still wins. I'm honestly surprised. That was a really good spread of tanks and bio.
I'm not super shocked, to be honest. That was...
Vipers too good?
And not just that Vipers are good, but there was a lot more of... It's like how Marines are really good in this situation. There's more Marauders and tanks than I think there was the actual DPS they needed. If that makes sense, I don't know. Regardless, without these extra tanks back at home and a trickling funnel of bio coming in, 126 army supply over 66. It looks like Team Zerg is not going to go down with a 3-0. Coming back fighting hard.
Terran is also thinking about transferring over into air for whatever reason. I guess Liberators. It might have been an extra thing to work, but I honestly think that if you just kept on bio, they would have done fine too. And maybe you're right. Maybe they did have too many Marauders when it came down to facing a pure Hydra army, almost like facing a Marine army. Marauders still gonna lose, but for whatever reason, Zerg is looking to win, take it back, not go down 3-0, whatever you want to say, which is again. Not surprising just because of the way the battle went, but also just the way this game has gone. It always seemed like Terran was just on the edge of being able to close it out by almost killing a third base, or getting some really nice engagements, or having like, really sick economy with plenty of bases, and it just all crumbled instantly.
It's kind of funny just watching the Hydras chip away at that command center. Not letting it do, neither can the other one. Oh no. Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna get burned. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. Yeah, just barely. But it doesn't matter. I think they kind of lost their momentum, so
yep.
Terran is kind of screwed.
They got their supply back, but it's this is without medevacs, and this is another big problem with it too. I guess that's another big thing that happened on those front lines. Without the medevacs to heal the bio, these are just flimsy tier 1 units. They just really don't cut it. The medevacs are truly what makes them so strong.
Yeah. Terran probably shaking their collective heads, I guess. There are 2 of them, and saying, like, where did we go wrong?
Collective heads.
Because that game probably felt pretty nice for them.
And
then it just went south. Okay. Confirmed I picked the right game. Go me. Watch with others.
Yeah. Nailed it.
If you guys are just tuning in, this is the game that we're casting right now. Institutes of Technology from Rochester versus University of Washington. So currently University of Washington are up. They are the Terrans.
Hype!
Yay, Terrans! We don't see enough of you guys. Yeah.
Load screen action. Hurrah!
Oh, whoopsie daisy.
Right. You ready to kickstart these intros, Zombie Grub?
Almost. There we go. Finally. Okay, got it. Nailed it.
Huh.
The early pings? Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the pings. This is really helpful when you cast things. Okay, in the top left, as the yellow Zerg.
Top left.
Oh, top right, damn it. Top right as the yellow Zerg. It's, I love Bunny.
I think we talked about this in our cast, right? Like, whenever I want to intro somebody on this map, it feels like they're in the other side of the map. I don't know how to describe it. Like, going down here to the bottom left, it feels like the bottom right. It's Garage Door Eccentrics.
What the hell? Oh, that was embarrassing.
What?
Oh, you weren't on them? All their SCVs went to go build the gas geyser.
No, I wasn't, but that sucks.
Yeah. Sorry to catch that on camera. Might be. Yeah, it's probably because we don't have many maps where the main minerals is leading out to dead space. Usually they're the ones that are tucked in the corner because they're safe. I don't know. I'm just looking for excuses to excuse my mistake.
Some girls like all unnecessarily self-conscious, like, oh god.
Yeah.
I really do think it's like just the angle of the minerals to the base. It feels like it's twisted. I guess I can't describe that differently. But yeah, still not super relevant. Whatever.
Super important. Oh, Terran has always been SCV scouting, and their SCVs have been, quite the hero, dodging away from the worker surrounds. But it feels so unnecessary when you're going for a Reaper anyways. Unless it's a 4-player map, in which case you want the Reaper to get there as fast as possible and it's worth the SCV loss, your Reaper's gonna get there soon enough anyways. Like, and if they don't get soon enough to be there for a 12 pull, that's why you have a wall. So you don't die. And especially on Dust Towers, like, even more so, like, okay, maybe the 12 pull, they can dodge your Reaper and get a kill in the command center, which has happened, but on Dust Towers, your command center's in the natural, safe, and comfy.
You can dodge a Reaper, you can dodge a ball.
That's not the same at all, actually. Like, if you can dodge a Reaper's bullet or grenade, then you can dodge a ball.
Agree to disagree.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
you don't dodge a person. The person's not being launched at you.
I kind of feel like, it could be. Yeah.
Oh god, that's a severe form of kickball.
Build a big enough slingshot? I mean, take a hybrid. A hybrid could probably just pick up a Reaper and chuck it at you. If we're gonna
that's true. That's extreme dodgeball. So you know what I never knew? And unfortunately, kickball and dodgeball has been banned from at least Virginia, and I'm pretty sure the United States for quite a while.
What? Why? What?
Someone
California
complained.
Kickball.
Someone complained, like a mom or whatever, complained that their kid was getting well, punched in the not punched, pegged in the face, you know. So they took it away.
Yo, I've had a bloody nose from getting bonked in the face
yeah.
from kickball. Like, it's part of the man.
Yeah, it's super
Moms.
disappointing. So around my 6th or 7th grade, we weren't allowed to do it anymore. I remember like the last one too. I think was illegal technically, but our PE teacher was like, "Oh, go get him." Anyways, I didn't know that in some kickball tournaments, it wasn't also part dodgeball. Like, you couldn't actually hit someone with the ball to knock them out. It was just about either catching it, like a baseball catch, or like, you know, baseball outs basically, right? But the way that I played it was also dodgeball. Like, if you had the ball, you had to like hit him in the face. You couldn't just like send it to the third base person and get the out. Did you play it that way?
You know what? I don't remember, and the rules you're describing are far more complicated than I want to think about.
Really, like baseball, you either have to send it. You don't throw the baseball at the runner, right?
I mean, like, I'm not saying you should.
You shouldn't. That's not how you get them out. That's how some people play kickball, but I always played it that you threw the ball at the runner to get them out.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there could be more fun ways to play the game.
Baseball would be so hard that way. Oh my god.
I know, you dodge a baseball, you can dodge a ball.
Well, that's true. Baseballs are kind of tiny, but it would hurt so much.
Yeah, it would.
Anyways, so that's totally not important to this game.
Oh no, it's super duper important, Zamir. What do you even know?
Dodge a queen attack. You can dodge a Mutalisk attack. It's all the same.
Well, no, because the Mutalisk attack would be like a dodgeball. It would bounce.
Yeah, that's true. When have you ever gotten a double out because the dodgeball bounced on someone to someone else? Oh, I'm guessing that has happened, though. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds possible.
I know. Like, it totally sounds possible. Like 100%. 10 out of 10.
Oh, hey, this was a fast armory build, man. I did mention in the second game that Zerg has been going for later baneling nests. So this isn't a bad idea, but in this case, it is roaches and not banelings, and eventually the roaches will be in high enough number to take care of this.
The Hellbats, of course, very tanky, and it still boggles my mind. Like, Hellbats have more damage than a Roach does, but in a splash, but they just don't have the range to keep up with it all the time. So it's a little bit awkward watching this.
A little bit. Going for the third is kind of like it's a, you know, hopeful dream. Like, maybe one day I can get this third, but they're also blocked from going up the ramp. So what else are they really going to do? Getting a little like away from each other. Do need to focus fire on these queens and roaches. At the very least, I think focusing on the queens would be worth it. I really don't think they're going to get this third.
It's scary, though.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, that's probably the best way they could have done it, to be honest. It got a little weird because the roaches had a micro like they did, but...
Well, speaking of weird, you got the Reaper in this medevac. Something you don't see too often.
Oh, he's a special one.
Where's the grenade, man? Use the grenade, that micro! Yeah! Yeah!
Baller. Might get the queen at the third. Drones are transferring over too. Oh yes, fresh meats. Oh, they only got one. That was super. Or no, they got three.
You're like super into that too. Going full on like butcher status, like fresh meat.
I was looking for the word of the character.
Alright, well, the medevac, I do like that they're still trying to keep it around here for pressure, but of course, sometimes patience is way better, and by not dropping but threatening to drop could keep some of these units at home. However, the roaches are coming across the map. There is one liberator. It'll get some good shots, but
Scares them off.
I'm
they don't really
surprised
know
it
what's
does
up behind
too.
it. Uh-oh. Yeah, they skip the edges. That's a better idea, I guess.
Just walk around it, man. Just walk away. Just walk away, bro. Just walk away.
Yeah. Oh, well, there wasn't a lot behind it. Of course, it was without medevacs and barely with stim, like only in the last second there. The tank isn't too helpful. It got a medevac to be super helpful, but it dies.
No. They just Archon that supply depot. Did you see that?
Oh, I did not, but I know what you mean.
They lowered it and raised it and lowered it and raised it again. For those who don't know what I'm referring to, if you and your teammate try and raise the depot, unfortunately, it will keep raising and lowering it. It's really frustrating. Zombie and I have had quite a few fights about this. Until I got to the point where I was no longer allowed to touch depots ever, and if we lost the game because of it, so be it.
I don't know about fight. I always thought that was a very civil understanding. We did it once, and we were like, oh no, we did it. Okay, you do it.
No, we've had fights. after that, though. Like, the first time we agreed, we're like, okay, yeah, you do it. And then I would keep doing it by accident. You're like, Rifkin!
Oh, okay, that's true. I do it a lot, though. Okay, that's a good idea, let's try it. But on the things, like the F2 and supply depot, Rifkin! Stop!
Look, I've gotten so much better about F2, alright? Woman,
true.
please.
You only do it like once every few games.
Get off my F and nuts, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus.
Anyways, so the third base was technically saved, and they didn't really lose that many SCVs. 11 on 3 base is not too bad, but they lost any momentum with that. They are feeling much more defensive than they would be otherwise. I think they know by now it's Roach Hydra again.
I don't have, like, referee. I was gonna, like, fast forward through them sitting here.
You could have asked me to do that.
Hey, you should fast forward through them just posturing. Yay! The one big advantage to replays! Yay! These medevacs come in. They get scouted too. There's the pings. We're gonna slow back down. There you go. Nailed it, Zombie Grub. You're the greatest. You are the greatest. Oh my god, these spams! Who is this? Colorin! Colorin, shut your...
He does love coloring. It's coloring the map.
Oh! He's still doing... Okay. This queen's gonna get picked apart pretty quickly, but this is... potentially the same problem we saw before. You've got Roach Hydra, slow to respond, gonna go to that natural base right after that third, and it's such an easy drop.
You know,
the entire army's completely out of position. Meanwhile, Dusk Towers, we got Terran getting up on that tower.
They could have also broken the rocks.
They've broken the rocks, but they're also sending up a Liberator on the backside of this, too, to cover that entrance. I like this quite a bit, actually.
Oh,
rocks
cool.
are going to go down, buy themselves a lot of time. Meanwhile, natural base does finally get picked up and run away. Decent attack so far, but it still hasn't really done enough damage, I feel.
This is a really cool use of the map. This is the first time I think we've seen the rocks broken down like this, too.
I feel like whoever made this map, though, had this particular attack in mind. You know,
Yeah,
it was
sure.
really nicely executed. Tanks up on the high ground, chipping away. Hatchery at the third base goes down.
Ooh, Overload's going down, too. Get what you can before you can get out. They do save the medevacs once again. The left side was cleaned up, sort of missing that. There wasn't too much over there, so it was really just a matter of time. Behind this, they got a fourth base. They finally got all their upgrades. They're missing combat shields for quite a while. Only finished up once, like in one of those attacks over there. And they're on their way to 3-3, which they do need, as Roach Hydra, as we saw last game, can be powerful even with only 2-2.
Well, credit goes to the Terran micro player. Really good drops have been going off this game. A lot better than last time, and a lot less criticism from Rifkin for it, but still has to be careful. These medevacs are a little bit low.
Ooh, one goes down.
Of course, as a compliment.
Oh,
no,
another one goes down.
God damn it. Alright, Garage Door and Kisantrix, you guys suck. Don't listen to me.
Oh no, the tank is in siege, but that is a big bio army and only half of the Roach Hydra army. No, no, no. Wait for the rest of your army at the very least, and even then, it's still going to be a very even...
I don't think they have enough medevacs for this.
They don't, you're right.
have enough medevacs for this.
They also just don't have enough bio in general.
Well,
They
get inside the bunkers!
Bunkers!
Get inside them!
Also, of course, attacking before 3-3
better.
is anywhere close to finishing.
Well, this is better because, of course, it's no more roaches to defend against this.
Yes, so eventually the Hydra is going to be cleaned up, and they are going to be... That's going to be a lot of supply that can be chased down whenever they can finally get an army back up, but they are kind of struggling right now. One tank on the high ground to chip away. Yeah, drop the natural.
Base of the others going on, and these don't have a lot to defend it. Getting awkward, getting low.
Oh, no, no, command center!
Okay, the command center here's going to go down.
Macro
But the other one's a planetary, though. Oh, SCVs, please. The other one's a planetary, though, so it should be able to hold on.
There's no reason for that third to go down, I tell you. It's 2 people watching.
This folks ask about why no kill counter for the workers. If you're talking about the Game Heart feature, unfortunately, it does require a mod to show up. Unless you're complaining about Zombie Grub not control R-ing enough, in which case, woman, please.
My bad.
Siege tank's going to be picked up and repositioned. It's worth noting, Team Terran's still on 3 bases worth of economy. Zerg, not so much. Main's pretty much mined out. Natural's finally getting resaturated. This repair is going to be dire. This planetary needed some support from that bio a little bit late to the party. Now it's bad. Now it's really bad. We also just saw another example of the Archon struggle. Both players trying to retreat. The SCVs go in 2 different directions. Ooh.
This is going to be too big of an army. Up 40 supply, 20 of that in just a pure army. The upgrades are so close to finishing for Terran, but just not yet. There's one. Weapons is finished up, but it's too late. The army's getting pushed back. It's getting killed.
So, It looks like we are going to go to a game 5, and thank God you didn't mess up the replays and make this look like a 3-0.
Nice.
Nailed it. GG. Zerg, Archon, Cerebrit, hype.
Oh boy. Oh, we're getting to the next game. It's going to be on Ruins of Saras, the last map for this series. Once again, it is Rochester Institute of Technology, the team that has now brought it back from a 2-0 deficit, versus University of Washington, the Terrans that started off great, but did kind of fizzle right now. They're fizzling! There we go.
It's like a warhead candy in your mouth once you get to the center.
Oh yeah, that's what a great analogy. So if any of you are in college and are interested in what this is, cstarly.com, I believe, is the place to go. Oh, whoops, for more information. And of course, Starcraft 2 and Hearthstone signups are open, so... What?
We should fast forward every bit we can this game.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay. No spoilers or anything, like...
It's a short game, guys. We want to get to the end of it really quickly.
Jesus. Oh god, let's do the intros.
We'll fast forward through the intros, alright?
In the top left, or the shoot, damn it.
Hit the plus sign, hit the plus sign on your,
stop
there
it.
you go, alright.
In the bottom left, as the yellow Zerg, it is I Love Bunny.
And? Oh wait, I love okay, yeah, okay, never mind. And in the bottom right, it's gonna be the pink Terran team! Garage door and kicks and tricks! And I don't know why I'm doing all my camera movement, because you can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. So yes,
Oh my
it
God,
is
I
all
just
tied
realized-
up.
When we're in replays, I could literally just like double zoom out and auto follow a unit. Like that's the extent of observing I need to do since you're the one streaming this.
Yeah.
Hype!
Have fun. Alright, so it's like... Oh, never mind. Hey, there's like no way not to spoil this now. Like,
It's a long game, guys!
It's a long game, okay?
It's a
So,
long game.
sorry.
And it's been a long day for Base Trade TV team over here, so we're gonna go through the BS parts of it. Now, obviously Zomgrub's gonna be out right here, and I didn't even have to say it, she slowed down when the action happened, so we'll kind of get through some of this, but unless something really crazy starts happening, like we see a hidden base or anything, I mean, to be honest, we can expect this to most likely be a pretty normal TVZ anyways. Nobody went for a really early pool. No one threw down, like, 7 barracks. I mean, the exception might be, with an asterisk here, that there could be a Nidus Worm, as it's been a very, very popular strategy on this map, but yeah, I'm not expecting too much out of the early game anyways. To be honest, neither team has really succeeded in doing too much early game pressure anyways in either of the 4 games leading to this this final match here in the best of 5.
Taking a third base. The Reaper is trying to deny it right now.
Queen's jumping on fast forward look amazing.
They're not going to get the chance, but what I was noting in the main base was that no gases were ever taken, so speed is not on the way. These Reapers can continue to harass as long as they want. Roachborn once again, as remember the first 2 games, Zerg lost, okay? They straight up lost, and Terran looked really strong. These last 2 games, they went Roach Hydra, and I think they just figured that this is the best way to go. Luckily for them, even though it's the biggest map in the map pool, it is the closest positions you can get, just right next to each other, so it's probably still a good unit composition to have.
Well, let's talk about why that Roach Hydra is working out really well, though. I mean, the drops are on point. You find me hard to argue in saying the drops aren't cutting it, because the damage was good. It's the fact that the main composition, I mean, that map on, was a Preon Terraces, that one fight was such a good example of this. There was tanks spread, there's too many Marauders, not enough Marines, but more importantly than any of that is not enough Medivacs. The thing about Hydras and Roaches is, like, the damage it doesn't really come in bursts like Banelings. It doesn't just, like, instantly kill 12 Marines. It comes out with consistent DPS. Hydras attack fast but low. And Medivacs can, to an extent, out-heal that. It was a strategy in HOTS to just go crazy heavy Medivacs when you saw Roach Hydra. And it wasn't because you wanted to drop, it's because your army would out-sustain theirs. So, I mean, when Vipers come to the equation, a lot of that changes, but it is worth noting, in general, Garage Door and Kixantrix have not really been going Medivac heavy. We've been seeing like 4 to 8, not like the 12 or 14 I think you'd actually need with an army of that size.
That's a good point. It's a good summary. So they scouted the later Banshee, which is quite odd, to be honest, because it really is quite late. This is usually without Cloak, because it's mostly the safety Banshee, we would call it. Oh my god, calm down. It's called the Safety Banshee.
I didn't mean to enter. I'm sorry. I just started mashing the button.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, I would just interrupt you and be like, fast forward if I wanted to. Like, I'm sorry. It was
Being passive aggressive about it. But anyways, my point out is that you would just use it just in case the roaches only attack with roaches. And then you'd have a Banshee, even without Cloak, picking away at them, and it'd be really quite safe. We saw Ryung do this a lot too in Heart of the Swarm. But they bothered to get Cloak with it, and it was kind of a waste, to be honest. Now they're just gonna, wish they had more to put into tanks, upgrades, and medevacs.
Yeah, Cloaked Banshee is really fun out of the matchup for a lot of different reasons, but I think one of the stronger ones is the fact that Spore Crawlers are easy to put down, you've got more money to play with, so Queens are going to be more abundant than usual anyways. This Banshee does find a way to get in here and get a couple of kills, perhaps 7 more than it should have been allowed to, frankly.
Yeah, oh, you cannot get out. No.
Unless he gets out Zombie Grub. Oh no!
Haha! Called it. Alright. So that was the only Banshee they got, wasn't it? Yeah, this is a Viking over here trying to take on the Overlords. Does finally get another one. And Scout's the 4th too, by the way. He's gotten 4 Overlord kills. That's pretty nice. Oh, double armory? That's not worth it. I'll tell you right now.
If they're going mech, they're going to have a bad time, because they've already invested into Bioman.
Well, yeah, okay, there's that. I think the reason they're going for double armory, and it might be a mistake, we'll see if they actually use both armories, is that they're thinking like, oh, tanks are really good, so let's upgrade the tanks. Let's also get a faster second factory to get more tanks, because tanks are good against Roach Hydra. And they're not wrong. Tanks are good against Roach Hydra. But that doesn't really excuse, like you don't need defense for the tanks. You don't need the armor for the tanks, especially if you can pick them up, too. If you're worried about their survivability, just play Legacy of the Void. It's about their attack, and that's usually the only thing you need. By getting a second armory and a second upgrade, you're really cutting into other gas-heavy units you get with this composition, like a ton of medevacs or a ton of marauders. I'm only getting the +1 right now, so maybe it was a mistake.
The tanks are in a really good position for this, but I'm not sure if there's enough bio. Either way, the Zerg aren't going to test it. They're going to back away from the tanks. Taking a fight closer to creep. Really good idea. Let's not forget Corrosive Bile is going to be really nice for stationary units. If the medevacs can't quite scoop up the tanks, those Corrosive Biles will take them out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Apparently the Hellions from very early on in the game have come back to kind of get some Hellions. Didn't really do too much. The Zerg has expanded now 3 times, so looking on pretty decent backup bases, we'll call them, because they aren't being mined quite yet. Excuse me. Of course, the Terran also got to a 4th base where we're fast-forwarding, going into a planetary fortress. Why not? This army really should not be allowed to get over there, though. That's the whole point of being all safe and tucked behind there. Yeah, I was gonna talk about like, maybe they don't even need a planetary, but they just ran right past.
Yeah, I like the retreat. It's unfortunate losing the mule time like that, but it keeps all the SCVs alive. Action picks up over here with the tanks. Unfortunately, some of the bio does walk into those corrosive bile shots, but again, a lot of this doesn't really matter until the Vipers come out. That's when the real fights begin. However, bottom left, we got a bit of a drop. Garage Door Cassandrix taking out that Roach Warren.
Got
Very
a Viper
hearty,
instead.
meaty part of the army.
Dropped it at the top as well. Really nice harass here. Did basically, I mean, it got a lot here, it killed a base here, and it also pushed away the army here, so they can once again take their 4th base safely, although it should honestly be pretty safe. Because the Roach Hydra army is rarely ever going to go like this long way around. They are very, slow unit composition. Medevac's still alive, is going to keep up back there. I mean, they killed the only Viper that was out, I think, so, like, not even a duct. Oh, I'm totally wrong. 3 Vipers were there's just Pop, I think. Regardless, they're out now.
The nice thing with the Vipers, too, is like, okay, this is... okay, that was really nice, picking up the medevac. I was just saying, though, like, one of the really nice things about the Vipers is, okay, you've got Blinding Cloud, sure, but you've also got all these medevacs that are going to be picking up tanks. This is where Parasitic Bomb becomes really nice.
Just warning about the base back here. So in Legacy of the Void, you're not going to have a ton of extra minerals in the bank unless you're really not fighting each other, which can happen sometimes. But you're not going to have a lot of minerals to spend on static defense. So these drops are going to become more and more potent, especially if the micro player is really on point. Or whoever is designated to control drops. It could be the macro player, to be honest. So the micro player is focusing on the main engagement. The upgrades for once in the series, I think, are going to be in favor of the Zerg. That includes their Ling Bio, their Ling Bling games.
Yeah, finally some pings that start making a little bit of sense. They see that pinging exactly where the army is while the creep tumors start getting cleaned up. 3-3 is seconds from finishing here for the Zerg. This isn't like an upgrade-dependent game, but it is going to certainly influence the way this next fight goes.
We even got patching lands really starting to round out their composition, because Roach Hydra doesn't really cut it as you get later in the game. Upgraded bio with medevacs and even without tanks will start to defeat them. So Vipers, Fungals, Ultras, Lurkers, anything added on will be a lot better. They do finally get a Lurker Den, but they didn't make them last time they had a Lurker Den, so I'm still hesitant to say we'll ever see them. They got a Nidus Storm, which is really cool. You can start harassing the structures in the main base.
Yeah, plus, I mean, it's the fact that the armor is completely drawn out of position. I guess we talked a little bit about this before in regards to drops, but in general, Roach Hydra is slow. It can't really maneuver between bases the same way a medevac can. But you get a Nidus Worm, high ground, low ground, you can certainly start dancing around a little bit. Takes out the command center really nice, and I'm going to have a chance to make a base there.
Stimmed. Well, I don't know why they're stimmed already. Stimming
in,
and a choke in the Blinding Cloud. But they Blinding Cloud's his own units too, whoopsie!
Yeah, let's not forget that you will get affected by your own Blinding Cloud, so walking through that a little bit dangerous.
They get away with more starports. Liberators are on the way.
Yeah, 5 of them. And they've got the range upgrade coming too from that fusion core. So with the upgrades, the Liberators do get their old original range back. Makes them quite good against Roaches and Hydras, by the way. As Hydras and Roaches will have to dive deep. But the army in the middle of the map gets cleaned up. However, once it goes on, look at the Bank of Zerg. I mean, this isn't a problem to replace these units. As long as they've got Larva, they'll be good to go.
Yeah, and they should have Larva. They've had plenty of hatcheries, and honestly not trading out too often. They didn't expect Terran to chase off of their base like that, but they did and took out a lot of the Roaches, but of course reinforcements were there. Zerg does have to pull back again. I think they also got the Vipers, which is the why I do apologize for missing that, because the Vipers were pretty important.
Well, okay, the Vipers going down sucks, but another big problem is they really aren't anticipating these Liberators. The fact that there's no Corruptors coming out, okay, you can maybe hope that Parasitic Bomb will carry you through this game.
They do not have Skype or anything on. That's why they're pinging so much. Not that one person's a spotter. Because they just simply pinged, like, Nidus. Like, they're not talking to each other, which...
or they are, and they're saying, I'm going to put the Nidus here over here.
okay, sure. I guess it's possible.
There's nothing in the Nidus Worm!
Well, that's...
Sickest scare tactic,
He forgot to ping the army to the Nidus Worm, to the location to Nidus.
It feels like you're playing with an AI, and like the only way to get it to listen to you is by pinging.
Yeah,
Liberators do get taken out. A small amount of units come through, but this is a very deadly amount of units. Hydras are incredibly scary, even in low numbers, but not being micro, they are going to go down to these Liberators.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, these Liberators deal 85 damage a shot. Top right is going to be found out by this Overlord, so another Nidus Worm going to come down.
Good use of Nidus Worms also to send them across the map, not just into the production, although that's honestly where the Terran gets really hit the hardest. It's 4 starports, just 2 of them don't have any additions. One more?
Nidus Worm?
Yeah, they're just Nidus Worming every single base.
No, like they're building another Nidus network, so like
oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I don't know if that'll be worth it.
They're gonna go like for the full cinematic experience and unload like 5 Nidus Worms at the same time.
As cool as the Nidus Worm is, because you don't see it a whole lot, and it is something that is brought up, especially if you're having trouble like beating a turtle mecher, which doesn't exist in Legacy of the Void anymore. I feel like investing into like upgraded lings, for instance, because you got all your upgrades for your Roach Hydra, so just get the melee upgrades, and doing run bys would also be okay, and that would be a mineral dump later when you only have minerals, not gas.
Looks like these planetaries are going to hold in the top right. Nothing to really take out the Nidus network just yet, but middle of the map collapsing on this is a little bit dangerous. Some Blinding Clouds are ready, but honestly might have been better off using Abducts on those tanks. These Hydras are just taking a beating. We talked before about how they got a bank, and they still do, but you still don't want to give away units like this for free. This is just bad positioning out of the Zerg.
Oh, Terran Army's going to go over there and clean up the Nidus Worms. Zerg's having a bit of a time taking on an engagement that they want to. They're always forced to retreat for one reason or the other, and now Liberators on board too. I think they recognize they're going to need more Vipers. That could possibly be the answer. More Abducts, more Parasitic Bombs.
For those who don't know, Parasitic Bomb, it only does like, what, 85 damage a shot? Let me actually go look to become sure. It is 90, pardon me, 90 damage a shot, but it's an area of effect, and it stacks, and if these Liberators are all clumped up, 3 Parasitic Bombs will take care of them, no problem.
No upgrades for the Terran's building armor or high-sec auto-tracking yet. Legacy of the Void games very rarely get into this position where it's super late game, and also like no one's really winning yet. So I think people have forgotten that you wanna get those. Like they're the last things you want to get from the engineering bay, but they're still kind of good. Creep spread not really being cleaned up. It's not the #1 focus. It doesn't really help Roach Hydra the same way it does, like, you know, Banelings, but it is free vision on your army, which you do not want them to have.
The Liberators are going to provide a very interesting dynamic. There are finally Corruptors out, it's worth noting, and the Corruptors are going to play a huge role in taking these out. Constantly still more Nidus Worms coming out. I guess that's like the 5th one. It's got like number 5 next to it. I don't know. But other side of the map, Blinding Clouds going down on top of the bio. No parasitic bombs in sight. Corruptors coming back, and the Hydras take out those Liberators. But more Blinding Clouds with that game.
No.
Now they're walking into their own Blinding Clouds. Getting a little bit dangerous here.
This is so awkward. The Terran army just basically completely retreats, just says no, 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 thank you to all those blinding clouds. They did take out most of the Vipers, though, so don't have to worry anymore. This has been such a long game and, you know, kind of passive, not too much, that they haven't been able to afford defensive planetary fortresses. Again, not something you see that often in Legacy of the Void. I really wish to get building armor, though.
Building armor would certainly help, especially with the amount of planetaries they've been taking, at least, but...
They are talking, apparently. I love colorings in chat watching the replay. It doesn't look like it. You're pinging so much. Stop coloring the map.
I told you they were on Skype, man. I knew this.
Yeah, I knew it.
This is how it was when I was playing with Desra.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm spoiled. Like, I've Archon mode with you. Oh, no, don't cancel. And we're pretty good at communicating. I Archon mode with Fear Dragon, and that was okay. And I Archon moded with some random guy that just wanted to for my Patreon, and we were great, even without Skype. Like, we were within each other's minds.
We're pretty good.
So I've been pretty lucky, I guess.
Corruptors could go ahead and take a pee on the building if they want. They're off picking up the Liberators, though. Very awkward spot to take a fight. Concave is better on the ground, but unfortunately with those Liberators there, yeah, Team Zerg's going to have to walk away from this. It is worth noting, though, despite having most of the map under the control through creep, they don't really have most of the map under control. They've been struggling to take additional bases themselves. But the Zerg Archons are not running out of money anytime soon. They're probably going to run out of larvae before they run out of money, but they still got 35 of those in the bank.
Yeah. Once again, a fight happens in the top here. It doesn't go so poorly for the Terran, but I think there's really like a medevacs, which makes sense here. We do see that problem when you go into Liberators, you know, even with 4 starports, you're still choosing one over the other. But it's been a problem consistently in the last 3 games, so it's a little bit on them. They accidentally hit their Corruptor, I think, and that killed it. It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
But they get the planetary. Their harass on the bases is really starting to work out here. Obviously, their bank's still very high. Terran's not so much. They're being over-simmed, too, with only 5 medevacs that are completely dry. They need to start building more medevacs, not Liberators.
It's so crazy to look at this map, though. Like, it is 50% Zerg. There's creep spread all over the place. The bases are finally getting taken, but still, yet they can't seem to control any of these fights. Now, the bio's heavily stimmed. You mentioned the medevacs. Every time these stim, they can't afford to like heal these up anymore. I mean, I guess the logic is if you can't heal up, just replace them. 4 new Marauders, 4 more Marines, and all that. But this is there's not really a bank for the Terran like there's for the Zerg. But those Liberators were fantastic. Yeah, this round's gonna be a lot better for the Zerg, but the Liberators get some good kills before going down. Medevac's gonna boost away, but this is about all they're good for. They still don't have any energy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep whatever they can alive and maybe come back for a base snipe later on. There was basically one moment where they were suddenly like left, right, and center, but Terran has really fallen off. Here we finally have a good drop again, killing a base. Desperately needed, but there are 2 extra ones they can send their drones to, and they're still on 52 drones. Not bad in Legacy of the Void. Be safe. Be safe. Aha. That worked. The Vipers aren't coming after them.
This is unfortunate. They can't really defend this properly as the army's slow to respond. You know, it's funny because you got those Nidus networks that were a little bit useless, but honestly might not have been too bad to put in their own bases to go from top to bottom like this. The downside to Ruins of Saras is it is a massively large map. Whether you're Terran trying to defend your own bases or Zerg trying to defend your own bases, going from one side to the other is not easy.
This drop that you went to, you know, didn't have any energy to help it out is doing its best as just a drop.
Greater Spire goes down the bottom left, by the way, so no more chance of root bullets.
Okay. Ah, that one drop finally went in, and just with a handful of units, got the Greater Spire. Of course, there's a second Spire that could cancel the upgrade and go to Greater Spire, but I don't think that's on top of their priority, as they never really bothered getting that many Corruptors or Broodlords in the first place. Once again, it's like the Lurker problem. You got the Lurker Den, you just don't really want to use it, do you?
The Liberators in the middle of the map got taken out too, by the way. What's going on? I'm not sure if you got that on camera or not, but nice snipes over there. We do have a Nidus Worm coming down here. I kind of like that it's blocking. I like that this is blocking the base. That's kind of cool.
Orbital commands now. I think the Terrans starting to get a little desperate on what they can do to spread out their their economy. This is still a planetary, though, and should be able to take it down, especially if it had building armor, I'm just saying. But now they really can't afford building armor. Once upon a time, they had 2K, and now they're trying to remax.
Yeah, even the problem, too, is because these are all planetaries, there's not that many mules to drop. The amount of orbitals available are very low in the first 4 in total, and they're burning a lot of scans. They're not burning a lot of mules. So that money, that mineral income is not there. And unfortunately, with less than 1,000, nowhere close to max, I'm really worried for the Terran in this instance. They came out of this series strong. They started off 2-0. They had knocked the Zerg down a peg, and then this comeback has been very real. Ro16 has proven to be very difficult to deal with. Planetary there goes down like it's nobody's business.
Not much else happening on the map to draw these forces back, and once again, just not a high medevac count, although this time they do have energy. Going into a choke, though, even with no Viper, Blinding Cloud, still too scary for them. They gotta realize that they're losing this game, though. Every single time they send out a drop to finally get some damage done, it's not reassuring to see that they did, in fact, take another base, and 2 more on top of that. It's like a Hydra right now with the Zerg, and Terran's not feeling so great.
More scans coming down. Every time I hear that scan noise, it's a little bit worrisome because one of the few orbitals floating in the sky goes down. Less mules available. Army still just being harder and harder to replace. I mean, I guess the Zerg, they are mining out their map. I mean, they've had the map, but the bases that they've had are pretty much all mined out. So that income's starting to drop off really hardcore for them as well.
Yeah. I mean, they are losing in the resources lost, but it just, they've had better economy.
I don't think they can afford to be doing Nidus Swarms like this, to be completely honest with you.
They should stop soon enough, especially if Terran continues to be what Terran does best, which is resilient. Like, you think you killed me? No, I'm just gonna Super Saiyan it up. Clearing up creep is like, I don't know, moral victory right now. It doesn't even really matter. And of course, as you said, kind of a waste of a mule potentially. Their one base that has been mining is now mined out. So that was the safe base. That was their, fallback base. It's gone. This little or pack of units once again taking down a base that wasn't mining anyways. Now it's the top left they really needed to go after.
Yeah, and top left's that income that's going to be really important. Both teams a little bit low on workers, but again, it's such a low income situation. You're not going to need 50 drones to saturate what is barely 1 or 2 mineral patches per base. So the actual income not so bad. As they start securing the top left, maybe invest in a couple more, but really they're just gonna be able to keep transferring around, and it's all about that mineral count right now. Team Terran's still riding very, very low. Again, no mules. It's one base mining off a planetary.
Yeah. Not looking so hot in the income tab.
As far as upgrades go too, I was a little bit shocked we didn't see a bigger air presence out of the Zerg, but I kind of feel like, composition aside, they're just going to be able to brute force victory here. I mean, Ro16 was already a really brute force composition to begin with, but it's the fact that they can still make units. As these armies trade out, no matter how badly I love Colorin and Poke Bunny take fights, they are going to be able to replace those units. Terran won't.
Yeah, they have to take some really great fights, and usually the only way you take really good fights is by utilizing splash in some way, which they're really running short on.
Let's not forget, I really want to see some parasitic bombs over Blinding Clouds here. Blinding Clouds not a bad choice if they're going to force a direct engagement, but so much of this air could just go down in an instant.
Okay, Blinding Clouds opposed to parasitic bombs both get the job done as the bio is not protecting their liberators.
There's an attempt at a counter drop in the main, but it doesn't matter. The last mining base being taken down. This is looking better and better for the Zerg. Big concave on top of the bio. The bio's going to trade out best as it can, but realizing it's not enough, backs away. And that mining base going down, I think, pretty much secures victory. Yeah. It's just a matter of time. Again, like 1,000 minerals in the bank. They're remaking 21 roaches.
Well, yeah, they did lose their hive, so no more vipers, and it looks like they lost their lurker den at one point, maybe. But they still have a Hydralisk den in Roachborn.
Lurker den? These guys don't need a lurker den.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Looks like their last couple of hydras are going to go down, but this last couple of hydras here, they have plenty on the way.
Down to 35 supply. It's not looking good for Team Terran.
They had such momentum in the first 2 games. Ling Bling Muta really not working out for Zerg, and then Roach Hydra was their gift from heaven or something, because our Terrans are not dealing with it well.
And the thing is here, and I'm not trying to be too condescending. Well, GG, we'll talk about that in a moment. But GG, Team Zerg with a reverse all kill, so to speak. comes back from being 2-0 to 3-2 it up and win the series. Nicely done.
Yes, so that will be the Rochester Institute of Technology.
Although,
winning.
if you did the replays out of order and it was really like 1-1-1-1-1, like, it's a lot less epic of a series, I feel.
I did not. I confirmed afterwards, so excuse you.
Okay, so very nice of Team Zerg then. Congratulations to them.
Yes. So, congratulations to Rochester Institute of Technology, and the next series